Today I'm going to talk about a topic that we all sort of go through, but it's just so hard to put words to. Topic of spiraling in fear. We're all spiraling in fear somewhere, but for the majority of us, it's really hard to talk about. Majority, I think probably for everyone, it's hard to talk about because we try so hard to be brave and be courageous and hold a mask, continue to try and live life with ignoring that us living frantically in the light is actually motivated by the darkness, that we're all in fear somewhere. And obviously there are two camps of people, the one camp that will own the darkness and be brave enough to say it, and the other camp that above the darkness, the people in the light that are more numb to, it couldn't be me, I'm not in fear at all. Everything I'm doing is not motivated by some deeper, darker emotion that is really hard to share with others. And I think it's not the fact of me sharing that I spiral out of fear and, the hundreds of people that I get to connect with on a yearly basis. It's not the fact that we are spiraling out of fear, it's the actual shame to share it, that we'll be perceived as less than the other person, that there's something wrong with us, that the person, when we see their mask and they're perceiving to not being spiraling out of fear because they're being brave and courageous, we see ourselves through that mirror and think that we're somehow different. But all they're doing is being motivated, again, by their darkness of the fear that they're spiraling out of. I mean, for me, just taking the mask off, fear is twofold. The fear of death, obviously. Our brains are programmed evolutionary to ignore our own deaths. So for me, just waking up and, coming to grips with the mortality of my own existence, and trying to kick the can further down the road to not think about it until I'm the ripe average age of 82, 83 of average span, that there's no guarantees in life, and I could get a dose of bad news any minute. We're just so programmed to ignore that and myself. But the interesting piece is that fear also motivates me to live and express myself in a way that takes risks, kind of like being here and risking being perceived as too much, or being perceived as saying something that most people aren't going to talk about. They're only going to talk about the half of how they try, more so to just live life. The other fear that I spiral in under my mask is fear of not being seen, fear of being too little. I know in the outside world, we fear conversations like this where we might be perceived as too much if we share our shadow, if we don't have a point to a story, if it's not funny, or if it's not quick, or God forbid, we share how we're spiraling out of fear at the same place over and over again. Most people think there's clinically something wrong with you. That's not what people talk about on the outside world. So if you're talking about something that you're dealing with twice, you might need to get some help with that. You might want to consult a professional above you, because it's not like they're spiraling out of fear somewhere too. And so it's been so nice in my practice just to reveal the darkness that exists not only in me, but letting the other person beside me in the boat, let them know that, me too. I spiral out of fear in the same places, but so does the rest of everyone else who's masking and performing, and trying to live their life, gripping life so hard because of the darkness that they feel. It's both. If you know how hard they're trying, you can definitely sense that there is some emotional part, some chaotic part inside that's causing that grip. So I think for myself, just exploring it, although I spiral out of fear in a couple places, it also motivates living as well. It motivates to really make sure that you're expressing yourself in a way that gets past a lot of the fear. Without knowing kind of where I'm going with the topic, and being a little different, exploring underneath my darkness, what comes up for me is just even the fear of doing something like this as an exposure, to get it out there without any intent, without any edit, without any kind of consideration to likes or subscribes or anything like that. Not trying to filter it, just trying to explore the darkness more and more, rather than just grip to the mask of light And I think when I explore what the mask is, I also have to explore what keeps the mask on. And I think for me, what shows up, it's twofold. It's the inside fear of sharing this stuff, of going to the places that are really scary inside. But it also is the outside shame that keeps the mask pressed on, as if you were to express the inside, that other people may judge you. They may think you're too much, so that you become too less. And if you say it, it's not like they're just pushing the mask onto you. They're trying to actually keep the mask on themselves because they know how much fear they're in as well. Not that I don't need the light. It's not like I just want to sit in the darkness of fear, but it's good to acknowledge both. Because if we don't acknowledge both, then we're pretending that we're above or different than other people. And so that's what I'm trying to do more and more in my life, is to express that it's not just what I'm doing or the light of who I am. It's also the light's motivated by the darkness, and it's actually admitting that we have a mask and we have darkness that creates empathy, that really, I think, really heals people, because it makes them feel that there's nothing wrong with them to begin with. It's the sharing on the outside world that's considered wrong. Anyways, that's where my dive ins take me today. Thanks for listening.